Hey guys, what's up? My name is Chris and welcome back to another Soul Calibur video. Whoops, I should turn up my volume a little bit. I have to hear through my headphones because my mic decided to break the sound on my computer again. I'm not sure why it does that with Audacity. I don't know why this started happening, but it did. I at least now know that my headphones work, unlike the one with the Mitsunari where I couldn't actually get where I didn't have a commentary to it. That was also the issue during that one, because at that time I wasn't sure if sound was working at all in general. So at least I know now that it is picking up my voice. I just can't hear it unless I have headphones in. So that's fun. Anyway, today we are doing NAOTORA E from Samurai Warriors 4. She's also in not Dynasty Warriors. I mean, she's in Orochi, but she's also in Dead or Alive 5 as a DLC character. So her style is a lot more focused on fist hand-to-hand combat. So again, there's not really a character that doesn't use a weapon in this game. So I went with Talum just because she does have the most hand-to-hand combat type of moveset. So I thought she'd be the best fit for her. And when I started out this character making a different version of her, and I really liked it because some parts of it I think fit really well, but then overall I just started kind of hating it the more I looked at it. So I started over, and here's my new one. I like how this one turned out so much more better. There's still some aspects about it that I wish were different Soul Calibur wise, but I think I got it, at least representing her decently well. One thing though that I did decide to change was her hair. Unfortunately, Soul Calibur has the worst pigtails in history, where they're either the short, cute, up top pigtails, or they're the lower ones like NAOTORA has, but they're basically Wendy and Pippi Longstockings, where they defy gravity and just stick straight up, and those are ugly as shit. They look nice on Talum, but on anybody else, no. And I guess Wendy, but I'm not making a Talum or a Wendy, so I don't like how some of the things defy gravity. I really don't. I also had to forego some... God, what's the word? Oh, shit. Forego some, accessories and stuff because there is that limitation of not only stickers, but objects that you can put, because she does have a lot of little cute details that I really wish I could do. I'm a little confused by why Soul Calibur 6 wasn't able to have more of those, because PS4 is really not as limiting as PS3 was, and I know that they had to do the same thing across Xbox and PlayStation, of course, but this generation is so much better, so much stronger, and I feel like they could have had a lot more put into it, and so it is really disappointing that they didn't. That it feels like they didn't make an upgrade from 5 because they have a new hardware to deal with. It just feels like they just copy and pasted 5 over. Sorry. So I did try to get in some details though, and there were some perfect things. This is probably my favorite part, doing her leg pieces back here. Honestly, I've never been more happy with how anything had looked ever. Even my Mitsunari, as soon as I figured out how to do these ones, it was all set from there. It was good. I think the lower half of her looks a lot more like her than the upper half. I think with the upper half, the shoulder pieces worked really, really well. And I had to improvise a little bit with stickers to kind of get the top part to look how I wanted it to look. But the fetching leotard was actually really perfect. Other than the bow tie, of course, that's the only thing. But it was the only one that was showing, that had the open chest region. And the long legs that would work with some of these pieces as well too. It was more important to get that open chest. And the piece that I have, that's kind of like a belt under her boobs basically, and then the shoulders, I do wish that those didn't have little spikes or whatever on them. They're from Tira, so I get it, but I really wish that it didn't have those, but there was no option for that. So it was really the only piece that had that kind of armor that I wanted it to have to fit her character really well. So I ended up just going for that in the end. One of my guinea pigs is starting to squeal. And then there is also the issue of the belt too, which you'll see a little bit soon here, of just how Soul Calibur's main problem is things float on the character pretty easily because it doesn't conform to your character's body type, which is still really dumb and probably the laziest thing ever. But, you know, I love Soul Calibur. I really, really do. But it's the little things like that that make me wonder how much they actually put effort-wise into the created character, because they give you the most options ever, just physically ever, and you can do so much, but they limit you a lot. And I don't know why, so whatever. I am pretty proud of this though. Again, I wish I could do more of these little accent pieces that she does have on her outfit. But I was at least able to do this feather. Again, everything's going to look nicer when it actually gets the color and the stickers on it, of course. It's so weird how when you start making a character, you put all the equipment on and they look nothing like their character until you get all the colors in. You're like, wow, this is spot on and perfect. Okay. I also apologize for not having done one of these recently. I was kind of unsure of who to do for a long time. And then I did do hers, and I was just kind of lazy on doing the commentary because I was more interested in recording Dynasty Wars and Tales of Symphonia than just recording commentary for this. So, you know, that's just me being really lazy. I'll try and speed up some of the boring, like the more boring parts as well too. Like for instance, that area of just me rotating the feather, it's a little bit boring. Here we get into changing the colors, and it was pretty easy because her makeup was one really simple, as well as just her hair color is really simple, and she has a really nice color palette. For some reason, if you don't know, I do write a bunch of notes for these videos about all the positions, all the color numbers, all the pieces, that kind of stuff. I write detailed notes, but for some reason on this one, I just fucked up and just missed a whole lot. Like there were some sections that I got perfect, and then others I'm like, why didn't I write this one down? Why didn't I write that one down? I was so confused. So I had a lot of like pause moments to just kind of reorient myself and see, because I forgot to jot it down. I don't know why, it was just her. All the other ones, I wrote everything down fine, except for maybe one or two things, because I wrote down rotation and projection wrong, and those make a big difference in terms of the angles and axes and that kind of stuff. But for her, I just messed up entirely, so. But I really did enjoy coloring her though. It was kind of hard to find those perfect gold coloring for her. But she has so many different variety of reds. I don't know if it's just kind of the lighting on her character that makes it that way, but she does have some brighter reds, a lot of darker reds, and even some kind of purpley reds as well too, that I never really noticed with her character before, other than, you know, looking these up. And so it's like small little details that I really love that I actually notice about the characters after a while, and surprised me because I always thought that she was using the same exact red for her entire piece, but that's not true. Again, like this, her top part here, she uses a really, really dark red compared to her armor pieces, which are really, really bright red. So it was fun to try and figure out which ones would work best, and I am more of a big fan of the dark red, so like the blood red, big fan of that. It was also hard as hell to do her shoulder stuff, not the shoulder pads or whatever, but like her actual clothing on her shoulders, getting that color right, because I knew exactly the color it was supposed to be and I picked that. However, it doesn't translate the same way because I guess the material of that outfit, like I got the perfect color in the swatch, but it just does not look like that at all because of the material. So I did have to kind of try and make it look similar in some way. It was a little bit frustrating though, because that's something that you just can't change at all. It just, that's how the material is, so I guess it works that way, right? But I tried my best, alright? I went through so many different swatches of that one thing, trying to figure out which one was the best. At least the rest of her was pretty easy. Again, like those reds were easy. She had a lot of blacks, a lot of purples. Those were very easy colors to find. It was just like that one specific swatch that I had a hard time a hard time figuring out what's gonna be the best, because a lot of them were too gray, or they were just too orange or too yellow, especially too yellow. I kind of wish it was this other palette where I think with the skin, it doesn't have the top red part, it just has like the bottom, it goes from like yellows down to red instead. I wish it had that palette because I think it would have been easier for me to find the specific shade I was looking for with that one. And I hope you're liking her so far. Again, I don't think face-wise, upper body-wise, just because of how Soul Calibur is, it looks like her, but I think if you know her character well enough and you saw it from a distance, you'd be like, oh, that person was making a NAOTORA, you know? Or especially though when she fights, I think she really looks like her. I will admit the belt is again super awkward though, just because hers is supposed to be shorter, and I used this other belt, I don't remember the name of it, but it had two sides in the front to it. The reason I stopped using that is because it had no back to it at all, and I had to use an object slot for it. And in the end I scrapped that because I needed that slot for something else at the time. And it just kind of looked a little bit silly. Even so, the length of it worked a lot better, but I think color-wise and material-wise, this one ended up working out fairly well. So yeah, I wanted that extra feather detail, I think, more than I wanted to hide her butt basically. And I of course needed both the spikes on the back of her legs. Again, really freaking proud of that, more than I probably should be. I know she has some, I don't think it's feathers, it might be feathers, but on her headpiece she has a few little things, and I wish I could have added those because to me it is a little too much gold, but you know, again, there was only 3 objects that I could use, so I made my choices. I think the belt looks a lot better with the feather added to it, so I went with that in the end. I think I kind of wish I took a picture of the old one just so I can show you a comparison of how that one looked. And again, it wasn't bad or anything. Like, don't get me wrong, it was not bad or anything. I just didn't really love it in the end, and I'm still really happy with this one. I think the only things that I kept the same from the previous one was the headpiece, the hair, the shoulder paddlings, and of course her leg armor and the spikes on her back, on the back of her legs, were the only things that I had kept the same. I don't remember what I previously used for her top. I think it was, it had something that had straps in it, and she doesn't have the straps, so that's one reason why I decided to use the Fetching Leotard 2 other than the open chest thing, because there were some other ones with open chests, but they just had the straps there instead. I tried to make really funky things with that, but this is where I get creative with the stickers. I wanted her, because she's supposed to have like long sleeve, or at least partial long sleeve, and so it did feel a little weird to me not having that. I think from, again, when you're fighting or from long distance, you cannot tell that they're stickers. A lot of people do this, and it's just adds that little bit of color. Like from here, you can't really tell it's a sticker, you know. So I think I did get my goal in the end of what I wanted to do there. But overall, I am proud of her. She's not my favorite one that I've done. Again, I think that still meets Nari probably, because I was the most impressed by how close I could get it with him. But I was really glad that I was able to find the second version of her in the end, when I just was fed up with the first one. So I am going to let you guys go here though. I know there's still like 10 minutes left, but I'll try and speed it up a little bit as well, because it is a lot of sticker placements, and eventually those get a little tiring. Ooh, I will like to say I do love what I did here though. It took me ages to figure out the correct angle of doing these, however, and I didn't even get it right at first. I made the size a little bit too big, because when I first did it, I have like my own version of it, and then I create one from scratch for a video. So on that one I had the size perfect, but I didn't really write. With this one you can't accurately describe the size. I kind of give a rough estimate, see if I could remember where it looks. I should maybe take pictures, but I don't think of that stupidly. But this one, it kind of crosses over her boobs a little bit, and in my main one it didn't. I did fix it a little bit, but I don't think I got it 100% to how it looked in my version of it. And again, when I say my version, I just mean the first one that I created. And then I started a new one scratch just so I can show you the step-by-steps and all of the sizes. I do really wish these ones had the actual size numbers. I don't see why they don't when some other options do. So that's a little weird to me, but you know, whatever. Anyway guys, I hope you are enjoying her so far, and I hope you do like her in the end. And again, you can leave me suggestions about anything that you'd like to see, and I can try checking it out, seeing if I can make them, because I still would love to continue on with the series. I don't know how many more I'll do, but especially with school coming up again, which I should do an update video probably about that. But I do still would like to do more, get some more characters out there, build up my library a little bit. So I'm going to play some good music for you guys, hopefully. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.